You know when you're on a road trip and you're enjoying the ride and you have to stop for gas? Well, that's how some open world games feel with their stat-driven demands. But not these guys. Hey, it's Game Rant, and here are the 5 best open world games with no grinding. Number 5, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. When we're talking about open world games, we're still talking about the core tenets of game design, especially when it comes to Nintendo. Breath of the Wild returned the Zelda series to its free-roaming gameplay for the first time in decades, allowing players to freely climb, fight, and explore to their heart's content. Sure, some areas may be closed off until you attain the correct type of item or armor, but the Zelda games would rather you serve up a mighty lunch for Link to temporarily send his attacks into overdrive rather than mindlessly grinding. One of the best games of all time, and one that caused an industry-wide re-examination of open-world design. Number 4, Ghost of Tsushima. An open-world samurai game seemed like a slam dunk for developers and publishers, and yet the usual suspects over at Ubisoft in their Assassin's Creed series didn't take the lead. Instead, Sucker Punch, the Sly Cooper and Infamous series developers, created this beautiful homage to the myth of the Japanese samurai. Of course, it's a well-researched work of fiction, but more importantly, it's willing to engage with the watercolor world of natural beauty, and thankfully it doesn't pump the brakes for any physical challenge. Ghost of Tsushima has the difficulty if you're looking for it, but those who master the basic combat timing will be an unstoppable slaughter machine, so you don't have to liberate every town, but it's just so darn addictive. Number 3, The Outer Worlds. Obsidian Entertainment has thought about grinding in game design longer than most studios have been open, including developing the exceptionally well-written, if occasionally buggy, Fallout New Vegas. And while their previous work could certainly engage with higher barriers to entry, The Outer Worlds completely flipped the concept, instead simply letting players decide what they want to do in each situation. You'll still get the basics of a first-person shooter RPG with conversational trees, but with far less grayed-out options. The result is a game far more brisk in its playtime, but also immensely more replayable, as it doesn't take long to trigger a new outcome from a previously experienced quest, to some, rather original conclusions. Number 2, Batman Arkham Knight. To play as Batman is to be an unstoppable ninja who can also be a part-time brick wall. Absolutely no one wants to do the preparation side of Bruce Wayne. We all want to be the end result of pure will, the Dark Knight. All of the Arkham games include some degree of progression, whether that be with additional accessories or enhanced combat techniques. But the required actions to activate these upgrades is by either walking up to a cutscene or passively leveling up while completing missions. Heck, Arkham Knight gave players a whole Gotham to drive around in the Batmobile. We're talking a comics-accurate Batman, and he only gets more beefy from there. All of the action, none of the childhood trauma. Nice! Number 1, The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Oh, we can already hear the comments section. Why Game Rant? How can you say there's no grinding in The Witcher 3? In fact, if you are underprepared for yeah, we know. But again, we're gonna cite this as preparation, not grinding. And really, it's been long enough since The Witcher 3 dropped that we know grinding is a fast track to never finishing or even enjoying this masterpiece. If for whatever reason you're throwing yourself into this game's rather pedestrian combat, stop it! Turn back and deal with whatever petty problems the locals need your help with. Because 1, you'll get much more in return than fighting random monsters. And 2, that's the point of the game. The Witcher is based on a series of novels, and it is to the immense credit of CD Projekt Red, the games flow just as well. That is, if you engage with what is directly in front of you, rather than chasing monsters. Enjoy the roleplay, Witcher, but never grind. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this list, but can you think of another open world game that does not require grinding? Let us know in the thread below, and we'll be sure to read your answers. Keep clicking around here in Game Rant, and we'll see you next time.